Is Satoru about to just kind of go all in, like, get raw? I think given the scenario that he might have to, because he's now trapped in this underground area. I imagine if he wanted to, he could break past Hanami's roots, but the worry that he's, gone over in this chapter is he doesn't know where a lot of the people are, a lot of the civilians, so he's like, I don't really know if I should, because he could easily kill people during this whole thing. And I knew going into this, there was absolutely no way that it was going to be one of those, oh yeah, people, a lot of people survived surprisingly. We didn't have any deaths. No, for one, the whole, like, chapter event is called the Shibuya Incident. So that means that, like, if you look at it from a future tense, this is the name of the case. This is what happened. It was, oh yeah, that was really bad. Some big event going down. But also with all these people in there, with Satoru, like, with him attacking, I would believe that in this close quarters kind of, like, area that it's possible for him not to hurt any of these people while fighting, but he's got 3 powerful, like, special grade curses all in front of him, and I don't think for a second that they are going to in any way play safe. They're going to have a massacre, because that's exactly what we got. Once they were, getting already, and Satoru was just like, oh, if I run, you're gonna kill all the people down here from what I'm guessing. But Jogo is just like, but what do you mean by that? I mean, we're gonna do it regardless if you stay or leave. And I think that's what really set off a lot of that. So in this, there's a really sick spread panel. I thought about using that one, but I really like this one where just Satoru is getting ready to flex on Jogo, and Jogo is just like, oh shit, I think we misplayed something. And it's that really sick one with, like, the 2, like, kind of like curved over panels, that big spread. But you have all these people getting, like, pulled down, dumped into the subway tracks, and that's pretty much it for them, because, like, Jogo's just, running through them, killing people as they're just slaughtering everybody possible, like, as they approach Satoru. You get people getting, like, parts of their bodies ripped off, cut in half. I did like that Choso, with his blood manipulation, he uses a technique that Noritoshi did, he uses his slicing exorcism, but his is obviously, like, way better. And him being a much more powerful individual than Noritoshi. But I'm actually wondering if that's going to end up relating to that family, because it's Noritoshi, and then I think what is it, the character who was, like, the most terrible shaman, like, the curse, or the stain on the name of the curse users. What was his name? I think it was Kamo. I think Toshinori, I think, was his name. And they're reversed in that aspect, which makes me wonder, because they're both blood users, does that mean that he's going to be a descendant of him? And in further relation, because he's the cousin of Megumi, is my wonder, is the reason that Sukuna has some affection for Megumi, is it because maybe he's a descendant of said Kamo Noritoshi? Or then it's Kamo Noritoshi. I was just looking at the middle of this, so I'm trying to remember if it's Toshinori is the other guy. I know their names are very similar, and I think that's part of the relation of it. Maybe I know he was involved in the whole thing with the whole cursed wombs, but I don't think he's the father. But maybe it's somehow related. I don't know. Regardless of which, it was really cool to see that, that just small bit of, oh yeah, he's using a similar technique. I wonder how that relates, maybe, or it's just, a technique of people that end up manipulating blood. Regardless, they're just killing people en masse. You're just getting, like, heads torn off, people getting cut in half. They're just, it's a massacre. And yeah, this whole part where they're coming in and they land hits on Satoru, but they're hitting his infinity, his whole instant force field that's around him. And they use, territorial amplification. I don't like the domain name. I don't like it being domain expansion, only because you switched it over to area expansion, and that sounded better. I don't really like saying domain expansion. I prefer territorial expansion. I've seen that be more consistent with the translations. I don't know what the official translation keeps doing this, but anyway, yeah, territorial amplification. And Satoru, smart guy, very smart guy, as he's like thinking about it, and he's like saying it's similar to the New Shadows style of the simple territory, and that was supposed to be like a special technique, pretty secretive. So that just shows that he knows more than probably a normal person would. But obviously, him being Satoru Gojo, he's not only very powerful, but he's also really influential. He's a pretty big deal in their world, like finding out information. It should be relatively, easy for him and his power, both like physically, like who's gonna stop him, but also, why would you not want your, most powerful guy to be, well versed in a lot of things, have a lot of knowledge, a lot of idea of what's going on. And we get like a little flash over talking about that information, like the difference with simple territory. It's like a canceller for a territorial expansion, whereas territory amplification, it's like you're trying to press like a smaller version over it, and so they're trying to like cancel out his infinity. And it's much more of like, instead of a large wide range version of simple territory, it's like a small technique version. It's much more like honed and individual on there. But so you get a little flashback of Satoru, or talking about Satoru, it's Geto and Jogo, and he's like explaining how Satoru is really like in his element when he's alone, because other people that are generally way weaker than him, so he's got to either watch their back, or they could easily get in the way of what he's doing. And I really liked that while thinking about that, Geto has that scene of him walking away from Satoru when he turned against the Jujutsu college, because I think that was really just a large moment in such a small panel, because it really just shows how Geto really thinks of that whole relationship they had. And like when he's talking to Memory, he's like, he's like, Geto, you can't just kill everybody, kill all non-shamans just because you want to. And Geto's just like, you could if you wanted to, because he seemed to grow, he grew that kind of like angry, almost jealousy of Satoru's, level and his just potential and capabilities. But the fact that, he's like, anybody else would really get in the way, and his example while thinking about that is himself, I thought was just a really, really good, like, little nod towards his whole viewpoint of all this. Because we already know that the separation of those two in that year where Satoru started to kind of, like, go out constantly on his own because he was powerful enough to just, he really didn't need another person, is one of the things that really started to drive Geto down that path. That isolation really started to mess with his head. But get back to it, and they're discussing the whole situation, and Geto's saying he needs 20 minutes after that point, and he's saying that to leave it to him in the prison realm. I'm wondering if he's referring to prison realm as whatever it is they're gonna seal Satoru in specifically, like if it's a specific item, or maybe that's the name of his area. Territorial expansion. I like territorial expansion better. It just sounds so much better. And I'm guessing it's some form of little pocket sealing thing. I'm trying to remember, what were they called in Bleach that they had against Arankars? We saw it got used against Ulquiorra when Grimjaw wanted to fight Ichigo, and it was like, oh yeah, we have these things specifically. You put it in there, their hollow hole, and it will temporarily seal them up, and something like that. But their whole point is now they want to take out Satoru Gojo, because even if they lose, like permanently lose some of the cursed users, or some of the special grades, Satoru is their primary like aim, because we don't know about Yuta, we don't know about Yuki. It's all about right now Satoru, because he is the large like overarching factor that's keeping them to to get whatever their next step is of their plan. He's just that big wall. If they don't take care of this, then really there can't really be a lot of progress forward. So all in all, like, tonight's thing is going to be for them taking him out. And I don't think they're going to kill him. I think he's going to get sealed for a while. Maybe get messed up enough, maybe get hurt enough that he can't fight for a while. I'm guessing is getting sealed. I think a lot of people already know how this is gonna go down. This whole trapping him in some form of box, some pocket dimension, some device, and really kind of pull him away from the fight. But earlier when I mentioned that it was inevitable that these people are going to die, everyone around them, there's nothing really that they can do. And I don't think Satoru is just gonna like stand there, keep blocking their attacks, and just he can't really do anything about the people dying from the cursed creatures attack and all these cursed spirits. So he pulls his his ice sash down, and he's saying how the thing that surprised him the most is that someone as dim-witted as Jogo just thinks that all he could beat him. So I believe that Satoru is going to just be like, people are going to have to die. It's inevitable. It's entirely going to happen no matter what. He can either block and not fight and people are going to die in the crossfire, or he can, take out as many people as needed in this span to take out these special grade curses. And I was a little bit saddened because what he says when he refers to Hanami, he calls him a weed. I really like Hanami. He's one of my favorite characters in the series. So it's sad to see him get demeaned like that, but he's like, this is our third meeting, and you haven't learned I'm going after you first. So Hanami's probably going to get messed up. Maybe we'll see his, listen, Akutami, listen, one request. If you end up killing Hanami, which I can't do anything about, all I ask and pray for is that you show his territorial expansion before that. You didn't show it back in the Kyoto versus Tokyo battle, and you didn't show his big secret weapon, weird shoulder beam. So just all I ask is that you end up dropping that before you get rid of my boy Hanami. Please, I just want to see that aspect of his arsenal, and that's okay with me beyond that point. But anyway, comment below. I mean, it was really like a really cool hype chapter, and you got to see some flex on the villains. But I think just that realization of the situation that now we're gonna have Satoru just go in raw and just unleash on these guys is really an extra effect of it. But anyway, comment below, tell me what you thought about the chapter, and I'd really appreciate getting some more Jujutsu Kaisen comments in there and some chatter. Rumors are we're gonna get an anime announcement next week. So look forward to that. Really stoked for that. And yeah, thumbs up the YouTube, friend the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. And I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. And I thank you all for listening. Bye.